Hello, welcome to Motorington's channel. Today we have with us Mr. Georg Graf, who is the regional representative of Freudenberg Regional Corporate Center in India, responsible for 7 business groups operating in 16 locations across India. For your understanding, Freudenberg Group, headquartered in Weinheim, Germany, develops leading-edge technologies, innovative products and services for more than 40 markets, catering to thousands of applications. Mr. Graf will share with us the learnings from the COVID-induced lockdown and the initiatives taken to keep the going good. Welcome, Mr. Graf.
In this current situation, the morale of your employees will be very low due to continuing uncertainty. Though the lockdown has been relaxed, there are some issues still continuing. So how do you instill confidence in your employees and motivate them?
I do not fully agree. I have seen many highly motivated colleagues showing flexibility, maintaining spirit, Freudenberg spirit, creating innovative ideas, engagement, and trying new ways, and so on. However, you are right, this pandemic, and it is the mother of all crises, has transformed the way most companies work and also how employees have to work. I feel many companies have taken it up also as an opportunity to rethink and to reformulate processes and activities. And your first question, how I understand, points more to the employee communication strategies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And communication, which means also listening to each other, connecting to each other, debating, finding a common sense, not only sending group emails from the president desk or so. We have seen so many of this kind of activities in the net. So communication plays a key role during the times of a pandemic. We as Freudenberg has been organizing virtual town halls meetings with our group CEO, Dr. Mosensohi, in all regions. In 2 virtual Indian town hall meetings, more than around 80 senior executives from across the business groups in Freudenberg, India participated during each session. Actually, a town hall meeting, physically or virtually conducted, is not a new format, but it has helped to resolve many queries in the minds of the employees and gave an update on the way forward. It's very important not to think about the now, but also to think about the future, about the next day, the next week,
Absolutely.
the next months. Most of us, and during this town halls, were working from home at that time. It was a very new experience and a very new setup of a town hall. But what I have seen and what I have learned, the key messages in these town halls have been the entire world, and Freudenberg, as part of this world, is facing enormous challenges. But we are able to manage the crisis very professionally. This was the first key message, which was really overriding all the town halls. An experienced global management team is reviewing the situation closely. Actually, we had a lot of learning during the financial crisis in 2008 and 9. And we are constantly reviewing what we have done during this period too. It seems Freudenberg seems to be better positioned than other companies are. We have a strong balance sheet and we have very motivated employees around the globe. One of the focus areas and one focus of leadership and talent management teams has been to keep employees well informed, safe, and engaged during the time of uncertainty. By the way, this includes leaders also. We face the same problems. Alongside what I told before, a very effective initiative for internal communication was our so-called lockdown diaries. Employees were invited to share their personal stories and experiences from the lockdown in a daily post with a photo. So there were stories from working at home, new hobbies, new activities, touching moments from the family and whatever. So this was a very effective tool, and we have learned a lot, and it has motivated our people a lot.
That would
This
have given
has,
a lot of that would have given a lot of inputs for you.
absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, there was some clusters also. Normally, all people around the region, and we have people, as you know, from north to south, from west to east, all were facing the same problems. So it doesn't matter whether you are a member of a shop floor or office, in a small group, in a big group, you're facing problems. For all of us, it was a new thing. This pandemic is new thing. And we don't have a book, there's no chapter, page 3, what to do in a pandemic, what should the CEO do? It is only solved in a clear and fair and transparent communication. For example, we have been focusing largely on training and development and organizational development initiatives, and mostly through virtual tools. There has been a very quick transition, and I was surprised how fast it went along. A very quick transition from physical classroom and meeting room sessions to smaller but yet focused telephonic or internet-enabled sessions. Workshops have been replaced by one-on-one or by one-to-many formats to ensure that there's not only a delay in the learning and overall development goals of all the business groups. We have one very specific focus. This is our leadership training sessions, and they are being sustained online, not only to keep ongoing batches, so members of the current batches engage, but also to provide focused inputs to take small steps in progressing. Leadership is a daily business, progressing day by day, the session forwards. During the last quarter and the last months, even older batches, so participants from former batches were brought together for refresher sessions with their trainers. So they have already experienced their training a couple of years back. And several events have been planned for the upcoming months also. We see a sharp rise in the demand for training and development sessions based on the good experience and feedback from our online sessions.
That's quite interesting to know. So, but getting inputs from the people and then connecting with them through internet or direct call, all this. But there should be some motivating factor. Like you said, there is no book that says okay, you have to follow these kinds of things, etc. But what was the key motivation factor for you as the head of this region of Freudenberg?
I mean, it is our responsibility. It is simply our responsibility. We have to mitigate risks for our entities and also for our employees. It is clear all the companies, we all lost business and money during this time. However, we should not lose market shares. In addition, we should also not compromise our strategic goals as well. So we have adapted very fast to the virtual mechanism of information flow. In addition, I personally have noticed that we are all willing to ensure to drive ongoing initiatives via these new information channels. I talked about the virtual town halls. We wanted to ensure that the confusion is kept at a very low level and the sustainable information flows. There was so many fake news, media has overdone it. And we feel updating company information on the way forward and to underline that this is correctly shared was very important. And who can do this better than the group CEO of Freudenberg? This is why we have invited Dr. Moses Sohi to conduct these town halls. I personally have learned in all these vibrant Q&A sessions, topics such as, for example, what are the opportunities arising from the crisis? So people have asked, there's a crisis, yes, but what is the opportunities? What is the learning? What can we do? And what does the crisis mean for our, for example, M&A strategy? Do we go ahead? Do we plan investments? What is next year? What is in 3 years? What is in 10 years? And there was many more areas which have concerned our colleagues. It helped, overall, it helped understanding the situation better for the Freudenberg employees here in India.
Do you see a silver lining in the cloud? Because there is always as a CEO, as a person heading a large conglomerate in this region, there will be some opportunity for companies. Do you see a silver lining in the cloud?
I like your phrase, silver lining. Unfortunately, we do see too many clouds these days. Northeast monsoon is still going on, and here in the south, we saw too many cyclones during the last days.
Yeah.
And I guess also the air quality index in Delhi does not really allow seeing the blue skies there at all. But what I see is I see a decline in active COVID-19 cases in India. I see more daily recoveries than new cases. And the pandemic is far away from being over, but a second wave and the third wave will hit us. And if this is coming, then it is better to have the case load as of now and not to see the many cases, the 10 lakh and more active cases, what we have seen in the mid of September. What I see also is that most of the markets are obviously coming back. Many of our Indian businesses actually are doing pretty well. And I can read that almost all indicators in October, I mean industrial activities, trade, logistics, financial services, sector-wise impact, macroeconomic indicators, sentiment like PMI, so the purchase manager indices in manufacturing and services, all these indicators show an upward trend or a level of pre-pandemic, or even better, pre-pandemic, so January numbers, December numbers. And I can see also good year-on-year growth rates. So October 19 to October 20, I mean, October 19 is still somehow from the slowdown what we have seen last year, but at least we see growth rates. And I'm very happy to read that almost all indicators of our most important market segment, the automotive segment, have improved since February or March. I mean, sales in passenger vehicles, in two-wheelers, in tractors, and in other vehicles. Also talking to my committee colleagues, for example, in the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, I also receive a lot of positive messages from their businesses. Overall, and I would say for the Freudenberg Group, I see a proof that our strategy seems to be the right one. And I see that our strategy in Freudenberg seems to be even crisis-proofed.
Okay.
We stick to our strategic goals, new mobility, digitalization, sustainability, and we will even try to maintain a very strong balance sheet even in the future. See, if you see Freudenberg's journey in India, and you know us very well, our journey has lasted for almost 1 century. And we are operating 16 manufacturing plants in 6 Indian states. Unfortunately, almost all are located in COVID-19 hotspots. But we feel we have a good flavor what is happening on the ground level. And I would say it seems that strong corporate values, and Freudenberg is a values-based technology group. So strong corporate values and a stringent long-term orientation seems to be the best insurance coverage during a crisis and in this current scenario. And you were asking for the silver lining, and the silver lining is still in my mind. Yes, we see the silver lining because of our long-term orientation. We see the silver lining because of our excellent technologies, our diverse industries, We are very broad. Our countless innovations, we are very innovative strong. Our corporate values in practice and our joint responsibility and our outstanding CSR contribution as well.
That's interesting to know. This has again brought, the COVID-induced lockdown, and then the pandemic has brought, the hygiene, personal hygiene, and then social distancing. So, what are the advantages these things would bring in the future?
Well, I feel it is too early. It is too early to assess this. We are still in between of the pandemic.
Correct.
And I think we can't really see what it all brings. What I see is that obviously responsible corporates like Freudenberg and many others, I would say all the German MNCs in India, they have done their jobs and they have made their offices, my office here, and the shop floors very safe. Actually, there was a lot of investments, and we have also had a lot of learnings. So I think the companies are safe and are following the protocol. And if you read the news, you hardly see an infection caused in a factory or in a shop floor or in a bus or on a flight. As we know, most of the infections come back to the private and to the social life. And I feel a little bit that maybe worldwide, this is a global phenomenon. I feel that politicians and also the society is not really fully aware and ready for a change. As we know, unfortunately, all the cases come now from the family, social life, and all these elements. So, and I think another very important point, and this was my personal learning also, is that it seems a pandemic, the COVID-19 crisis, is also calling for a global solution. So it has pushed globalization. I think all the people who talk against globalization will be more silent once this pandemic is over, and we have seen that we can cover this kind of activities only in a consensus around the globe. A virus is not stopping at the country border. I personally hope that all the global challenges, climate warming, global warming, migration issues in a lot of places, poverty, and other things will fortunately also be solved in a global way and not in a very narrow way in countries only. I think this is the most learning what we can say now already, but still I feel it is too early to mention about this.
But let me be a bit more specific. Is there a possibility for companies like Freudenberg to formulate a new HR policy?
I would say
Okay.
I would say it is also still too early. I mean, we can read in the news a lot about working from home models, other flexible models, but we have to see how really the time is progressing now. Now, I mean, a lot of people, especially in India, are in a working from home mode. But to be honest, once life is starting again, schools are getting opened and life is coming back again into families, joint families. I think in many places, we will not see the environment to really allow and also to encourage working from home methodologies. There could be some influences. I mean, how we communicate. Now we don't sit together, we can't see each other. So we have a Zoom meeting today. Maybe how we do our travel management, how we reach out to customers, how we talk to suppliers, to consultants and whatever. But I do in the first row not see really significant changes. is a lot of learning, and a business model normally is very robust, and HR policies and whatever come around this. So I do not see a very radical change. And if you see the big IT companies here in India, well, they have announced working from home, but it is still too early to assess this. So we have to be a little bit patient. And my phrase, India means patience and relations. So the relations will call for more interactions, but the patience is still with us.
Okay, lastly, how do you see the manufacturing industry transforming globally in the next 5 years? And how do you see Freudenberg also transforming during this time?
Yeah, I mean, there is always a transformation process. Maybe now there's a different route because of a first pandemic we see globally, but investment, a strategy of a company is not happening on a chessboard. It is following a lot of activities. So Freudenberg has a clear understanding about our future. Also here in India, we have a focus market. I was telling about our strategic initiatives, about our strategic goals, which is the new mobility. The new mobility in this sector, we will support all powertrains. We believe in e-mobility, but we support the internal combustion engine also. So there will be a transformation in this part from internal combustion to fuel cells, battery, hybrid, and cars, but it is a very natural progress. We focus digitalization, and digitalization is something which makes us more efficient with our customers, with our suppliers, which helps us to find new customers, new markets, and whatever. And the third strategic goal, sustainability, is a very important, and sustainability itself is not in a time frame of 5 years to cover. There's also some movement, and sustainability and climate change will be something we will focus for the next years. So we are into manufacturing. We believe into manufacturing. We believe into our knowledge of materials and processes, and we want to be more flexible, more lean, and we want to serve our customers in the best way now, in 5 years, and in 10 years.
Mr. Graf, I must say it was very interesting talking to you. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. Thank you.